All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So one thing I've been seeing a lot of, all over social media, tons of arguments, tons of debates surrounding leverage, right? Leverage between the Green Bay Packers and the New York Jets, revolving around a potential Aaron Rodgers trade. Now, some people are on the side of the Packers own all the leverage in the world, Jets own zero, right? The Jets have nothing going for them in this situation. And then there's another school of thought basically saying that no, the Jets actually own the leverage, right? Rodgers wants to play for the Jets. He intends to play for the Jets. He's done with the Green Bay Packers. I've seen the argument Green Bay should hold out as long as possible. The Jets need to pay them 2 first-round picks, 13 and more. 13 a player and more middle round picks because it's Aaron Rodgers we're talking about here, and Green Bay again holds all the leverage. They only have one quote unquote buyer for Aaron at this time. Free agency is now a couple days in, and a lot of teams have their quarterback position figured out. The Jets are desperate. And then again, if you flip it and look at the other end, you can say, well, hey, the Jets are willing to take Aaron Rodgers off your hands. We're the only buyers here. Aaron wants to play for us. We've already set everything up. He's met our owner. He knows Hackett. He knows the offense. He's met with Saleh. We all heard Mark Murphy's comments talking about Aaron Rodgers in the past tense. So nobody's right or wrong here, right? No matter how you look at this, it's really dependent on how you view the situation. My question is, what's wrong with a 50-50 deal? Like, I think it's going to sound a little funny, but like, what's wrong with a reality check from both the Packers and the Jets? We don't know who's holding this thing up. We do know it's not Aaron. I mean, he was on the Pat McAfee show, literally still under contract with the Packers, saying he intends to play for the Jets, and he intends to play after, post darkness. Like, he went into the darkness trade 90% retired, 10% on playing, not playing for the New York Jets. He leaves the darkness, talks to people he trusts, and then comes to the realization, you know what? I'm going to put my body, I'm going to test it, right? Give it some time to see if I can withstand an NFL season. And I basically green lighted that. I'm down to play. And now my intention after meeting with the New York Jets brass is to play for the Jets. So Aaron is not holding this thing up. He's not still on the fence about retiring or not. The problems are either coming from Green Bay's side or the Jets side. We don't know who exactly it is. We've seen conflicting reports saying, oh no, the Jets are lowballing Green Bay. And then we've seen other reports saying that Green Bay's asking for way too much. But again, going back to, my original question here, what's wrong with a 50-50 deal? I mean, let's take a look at it from the Packers side for a second, right? If they're the organization that's holding this thing up here, if they're the roadblock, if you will, I think we have to understand Aaron Rodgers might only play one season. He might only play 1 year. He's 40 years old. We can't lump Aaron into the same conversation as Russell Wilson, right? There's a lot of talks with, quarterback trades, like see what these guys are going for. Multiple first-round picks, future picks. Like in the Russell Wilson deal, it was, 2 first-round picks and 3 players plus a mid-round pick? Like, oh my, like insane trade. Deshaun Watson, 3 first-round picks and more. I mean, these trades are absolutely nuts. But with Aaron Rodgers, it's a different situation. He doesn't have 5-10 years in the tank. It might just be 1 year. So because you have that, hurdle, if you will, with Green Bay, look, if Aaron was 30 years old, hold out as long as you want. Hold out into the summer. They deserve to do that, right? Like if they were in the same position that the Ravens are in with Lamar Jackson, you can hold out and say, hey, we want the best available offer. We're giving you a franchise quarterback for the next decade. I completely understand that. But again, from Green Bay's perspective, if they already have the quarterback on the roster and they're not completely reliant on the draft haul that they get back in return to maybe flip it and go trade for another quarterback, move up in the draft, whatever it may be, you're just using this capital to help reload the team, surround Jordan Love with talent. We have to have a realistic understanding that Rodgers' value might not be as high as a Deshaun Watson, a Russell Wilson, a Matthew Stafford. It's going to be lower because he's, according to him, from Rodgers himself, 90% retired at the end of the year. I mean, if we're just being honest, a year from now, next January, next February, next March, is Aaron Rodgers going to be closer to retirement? I mean, if he was 90%, what, a month ago, the chances are probably, yeah, he is. So there has to be that reality check of gas in the tank. How much gas does Aaron Rodgers have left? Will it only be a year? That is totally realistic to ask. Another potential talking point here from Green Bay's perspective is the fact that Aaron Rodgers is a franchise legend, a literal franchise legend. To me, the last thing I want from the Packers side, right, if I was a member of the organization, is to piss off a franchise legend, drag this thing out, make everybody's lives harder, like just do right by Aaron and ask for a 50-50 deal. Now, we can flip it. There is a chance that Green Bay is like, hey, we'll take a fair deal. We'll take a fair deal. But the Jets are the ones that are offering, they're lowballing us. Because again, there has been reports that the Jets are asking for the same, or the Jets are offering what they gave up for Brett Favre originally, which was what, a conditional fourth that bumped up to a third, something along those lines. Like that was hardly anything. And when we talk about Aaron Rodgers here, that to me, that's not fair. Obviously I'm a diehard Jet fan here, but if I'm just objective and I'm looking at it, Jets, Packers trade 50-50. If I'm a Packer fan and we get a third round pick, we get a conditional fourth round pick, I'm not happy. I'm not happy about it. Aaron Rodgers can still play at an elite level. So if I'm a member of the Jets organization, I'm operating under the mindset of, hey, there has to be that level of pressure to figure out the quarterback position. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers wants to come play for us, but hey, he's not a member of the Jets. We still have to go out and get him. Let's not waste time lowballing Green Bay, trying to stick it out to get a conditional pick. Like, let's just offer Green Bay a fair deal, 50-50 deal. Something to where the Jets fans, the Jets organization, the Packers fans, the Packers organization can walk away satisfied. Nobody feels ripped off. Nobody feels like one team one up the other. I think that's just best for all parties involved. I think if everybody's operating under that mindset, a trade will get done a lot quicker, and you don't want to run the risk of pissing Aaron Rodgers off, right? From both the Jets side and the Packers side. I mean, think about it. If you're Aaron, and you're getting word that, yeah, you could be a member of the Jets, but they're offering a conditional fifth or a conditional fourth, and that's it. And Green Bay Packers saying, the Packers organization is saying, no, that's not enough. From Rodgers' side, right? If you put yourself in his shoes, he's going to be like, New York, come on, what's going on here? Let's get to work. So I think for me, there's so many arguments about leverage. Green Bay owns it all. No, the Jets own it all. No, the Packers do. It's just back and forth, back and forth. What we know for a fact, Aaron Rodgers is not holding this thing up. It's either Green Bay or the Jets. I don't know how far apart they are in a deal. There's been conflicting reports on that as well. So it's just one big confusing mess. But I think something that just makes total sense, something that Green Bay will feel satisfied with, something that the Jets will feel satisfied with, and something to get Aaron in-house quicker so we can figure out this contract situation and start addressing free agency. I think it was Rich Cimini or Connor Hughes that said free agency will officially begin for the New York Jets once Rodgers is a Jet. Well, he's not a Jet, and we're a couple days in, and guys are signing left and right. There's holes on this Jets team. We got to figure it out. I don't like the Jets situation currently, where it's like we're trying to negotiate with free agents, big name free agents, and Rodgers still isn't here. We don't know what we're giving up. We don't know what the contract exactly is going to look like. Of course, not just this season, but for years, continuing on. Just 50-50 deal. That's all I'm really asking for. By the way, I'm actually in the middle of a move, so I appreciate you guys bearing with me. I know I've been posting a lot of phone videos lately. It's just been kind of crazy with packing and the whole setup and everything like that. So I appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Is it too much to ask for? 50-50 deal. I think for me, a perfect ideal trade, realistically speaking, the Jets land Aaron Rodgers. The Packers would receive this year's second round pick, 43 overall. They would get which by the way is a starter in my opinion. If you're not selecting a developmental quarterback, you can 1000% select a starter, a position of need, a really good player, high floor player with that 43rd overall pick. I mean, that's totally real. So you're getting the second round pick, you're getting a future pick, a future conditional pick. So a third round pick that could bump up to a second if Aaron Rodgers plays. Or maybe you can do a conditional third round pick that could jump up to a first if the Jets make it to a Super Bowl this season. Like however the Jets want to work it as far as a conditional pick. Whether it's how long he plays, how far the Jets go in the season, whatever it is, you get that solidified second. You're getting a future conditional pick, which in my opinion, you can set that floor pretty high, set the baseline pretty high, right around that third round mark, and a player. Now, ideally, I can't speak for Green Bay. I can't speak for Packers fans, if you will. But to me, from an outsider's perspective looking in, I would want to make sure that Jordan Love has the easiest life as possible while playing next season. How do we do that? Understanding that Allen Lazard left in free agency, Randall Cobb leaving in free agency, I want to get a wide receiver. I want to get a wide receiver in the building, whether that's Corey Davis, a veteran who can step into Allen Lazard's role, somebody who's been a part of two different teams. I think that could make sense. Although I'm not, from the Packers side, I'm not in love with that contract, but maybe he's up for a restructure. Maybe Elijah Moore, a young, cheap wide receiver, still on his rookie deal, although you do have the Mike LaFleur wrench thrown into the mix, right? Matt LaFleur is the Packers head coach, and we all know Elijah Moore and Mike LaFleur Elijah Moore and Mike LaFleur didn't get along last year, and that was one of the whole reasons why he requested a trade in the first place. So do the Packers even want to bring that on? Denzel Mims might not be enough value, but he's still a 6'3" wide receiver that's still on his rookie deal, former second-round pick who has flashed. Maybe it's a defensive player. Maybe it's a Jordan Whitehead. We're looking at the Packers safety position. It's not chocked full of talent at this point in time. Whitehead is considered, maybe a guy that the Jets can move off of, but he's definitely still an NFL starter. Maybe you could throw Whitehead into the mix. The one name I've been seeing a lot of is Jermaine Johnson, former first-round pick last year. Now, to me, that's a lot to give up. A former first, a second, and a conditional. But I would potentially be open to saying, hey, if you guys are in love with Jermaine Johnson, that's the guy that you've identified and you're not moving off of it, I would say, okay, how about Jermaine Johnson and that conditional pick? Something like take one of those assets away and just trade Johnson and something else. So a ton of different ways that you can look at it. All I'm asking for is a 50-50 trade. Is that too much to ask for? Right? Is it too much to ask for Green Bay to be happy, New York to be happy, and Aaron to be happy? I think if that scenario plays out, then everybody wins at the end of the day. The Jets get their quarterback, the Packers can move forward with Love, and they get that nice trade compensation to help reload the process even quicker. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below, and as always, go Jets.